All right, so apparently there's some people in TikTok land who are entertaining the idea of a fantasy matchup between Bruce Lee and Mike Tyson. Now, as a combat sports enthusiast and a fan of both of these guys, I'm gonna give you guys the long version of what I think and the short version of what I think. If you don't want to hear the long version, click on after I say what I'm about to say. But the short version is Bruce Lee loses to Mike Tyson 9 times out of the 10. And this is coming from a guy who loves Bruce Lee to death. He's the reason why I wanted to get into martial arts in the first place. But there are weight divisions and weight classes in combat sports for a reason. Now for the longer and more detailed version of this discussion. Now, first off, what kind of a match is this? Are we talking about a sanctioned bout? Are we talking about a fight with a ring, rules, and a time limit? Or are we talking about just a no-holds-barred street fight? Second is styles make fights. We got one guy who is a pure boxer, and then you got another guy who is a martial artist, with his disciplines being Jeet Kune Do and Wing Chun Kung Fu. Now, any boxer or any martial artist will tell you that it's not the style, it's the fighter and the experience that that fighter has with the style. Now, there are people who might give Bruce Lee a slight edge and say, well, because of his style, he can do things that Mike can't do, like kick and grapple and finger jab and all that other stuff. But you got to take into account, all Mike Tyson had to do is just land one clean punch and just end Bruce's night for good. And that's the first category, power. Now, even though Bruce Lee is deceptively strong for his style, still, you got 5'11", 220-pound Mike Tyson against 5'7", 140-pound Bruce Lee. So yes, all Mike Tyson had to do is just connect one good time, and Bruce is out. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more muddy. Speed, mobility, and hand speed. Now, Mike is known for his hand speed and his vicious and deadly uppercuts. But Bruce Lee's foot speed and his hand speed and mobility, at the time, it was so fast that the cameras couldn't keep up with his movement. So you might be able to give Bruce a slight edge in that department. Now next, defense, endurance, and the ability to be able to take damage or to take a punch. Now, Bruce Lee's offense was his defense, his style, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. I'm going to hit you before you hit me. Before you hit me once, I'm going to hit you 5 times and you're going to be on the ground. Now, on the contrary, you got Mike Tyson. Now, his fighting style was known as a swarmer. He's an inside fighter. I'm going to use my elbows. I'm going to use my forearms to get inside quick and throw hooks and uppercuts and knock you down. Now, both of these guys were known for being able to beat and knock out opponents who were bigger and taller than them, which is why I'm going to address the elephant in the room here. Does size matter in a fight? I'm going to say both yes and no. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. And the reason why it doesn't matter or it might not matter as much is because it has to do with the skill and the experience of the fighters. But if the smaller guy is more skilled and more experienced, he's going to have a very, very good edge. Not saying that the bigger guy can't land a clean punch. It's just that the smaller guy who's more experienced is going to have the advantage. But yes, if they both have the exact same skill level, then yes, give me the bigger guy. But who do you guys have in this fight? Is it really anything to debate, or could you make a case for Bruce winning? But anyway, you guys know who I got. I got Mike Tyson winning 9 times out of 10. But let me know what you guys think.